It's a backtesting session every day until I'm profitable, and I'm backtesting IFVG strategy on NAS100 today. Let's see how it goes. I don't trade this strategy, but I just do it for fun. Do we have a fair value gap here? No. Choppy action. Small imbalance there, nothing really remarkable. We are quite clearly pulling down here. When I'm choosing the time frame here, I would choose a time frame that has singular fair value gap. So for example, 1 minute doesn't necessarily have singular, but they are so in so close proximity to each other that you could even use this. Like, so if, for example, if that kind of thing got inversed, you could get short, but it has to be momentum candle. So for example, here I don't really know if that's good enough because we chopped inside and then we are giving a momentum candle, but I'm taking a trade here because the risk reward would be good here. So I would risk half of the amount I would usually risk because I don't like the choppiness. Okay, and that's why I risked half and not the full risk. Market kind of manipulated us here. It's like wicks us out and then moves, but what can I do, man? That's what NAS does. Now we take it sell side. Two-minute breaks above this after sell side sweep. We break even after this swept, so I would go in. Stop at that kind of low, I would. Inside of this range, we would I would look at that fair value gap. Let's take a 50% of that gap as the target. This would be 1% risk. Oh, that was bad. Oh, I shouldn't have executed that. That was definitely some type of... I mean, actually, that's just a market open. Indices market open. Equity market open. What do you want to call it? But does market end up manipulating us more? Yeah. Shouldn't have taken a trade there because the time was wrong anyway. How about this? Could target 1-to-1 or inside of this range. I think we should at least like get into this fair value gap. So that would be a break even inside of there. Market sell. What happened? There you go. So market manipulates more and then goes to the direction. If that flips, I'm in 100%. This would be break even because we ran the high. Yeah, that was a bad day. New York session. Okay, we ran that liquidity once more. How about this inversion here? I mean, that would have happened with that candle already. So let's see how the high time frame is lining up with the idea of sell. Pretty well, because we get that. So sell is valid. We can catch 1-to-1 R there, or even better, 1-to-6, 1-to-1.6 R. There you go. So we made $800 with 50K account there. Okay, we took that liquidity now. That was the 4-hour gap. Super important. If this gap inverses, I mean, it kind of did, but that's super choppy. I don't like that. Okay, now we got volume candle, so, and we got some LR here to run. 15-minute fair value gap up here in this range. I think this looks pretty nice. If you could have even taken this from here if you wanted to, which would give a pretty much better trade overall. But no, I can do same mistake that I did previous day. Like I should have looked the time, because like 9:30 equity market open was too close to my entry, and that can do whatever it wants to do. You know what I'm saying? It's probably gonna manipulate now even more. That bitch ass. How I would manage this is, let's just like try to catch 1-to-1 R and move break even when this gets hit, so I think that will get hit. There you go. Oh, there should be break even. They just didn't allow me to get the entry, so it's a break even. So I'm trying to get that. Are you kidding me, man? Please come back up. I need to break even. This is the reason why FX replay is a little bit annoying, man. I'm skipping to the day when the break even hits, man. There you go. Let's move. Here, too many gap flips, this looks pretty decent, like pre-market, whatever you call it. We have a fair value gap to target here. I would go overall target towards here. This doesn't look too bad. I would close 50%, go break even. And market ended up running, but what can I do here, man? Hmm. 9:30 again opens. Let's just see what we do here, and let's just not get manipulated, you know what I'm saying? So how about this? Let's look at the higher time frame. Should I expect us to drop? Not necessarily. I don't really like the sell here, even though it's probably going to play out now that I say it, but not gonna take it. I think this would be the nicer one. Hourly candles closing like this doji. We swept the low, now we would have the high in a 1 minute. So what I would say is that we are probably, the last 1 minute candle is probably going to close like bearish. Not it doesn't have to, but I could do easily that. So, but if I want to go long, I would have my stop around here. We could easily even target that London liquidity here above, because we like manipulate, like like accumulated here quite a lot here. So it would be totally. I'm moving my stop because this is not a good stop loss. Okay. How does this look like? Okay, that's break even. The real stop would have been that at that low, because I don't like, especially when this is so choppy, and this is probably gonna run now because it built a lot of liquidity. But I wanted to get out because didn't like that at all. I don't know what price action this is, so I'm moving. Remove drawings. So here, previous day low swept. We are starting to print like a doji. slash bullish candle, which would be expected anyway in this kind of range. But yeah, let's just see if we can like a flip price back bullish. How I would do this is if we flip that 2-minute gap here, it would be pretty nice confluence to get long. Right now, not seeing anything. We are trading a little bit too far down. Is that? No, the problem is that's not a 2-minute gap, but that's M1 gap. All of those M1 gaps are flipped, so I think this is like, okay, stop needs to be quite far down, but if we get like a lot of volume, we could even be able to hold all the way up here. So I don't know what market is doing here, man. What the f was that? We do flip that. Oh, that should be a break even again. Well, we're just gonna hold it because it's clearly running. I'm taking 50% off there, going break even. Targeting those highs. And we run them. Easy. Let's just go to the next day. I'm not too interested in that no more. Market is clearly bullish towards here. I'm not too concerned about that bearish gap here. Let's just see what market gives me here. How about the 50% of the range? Maybe it could retrace a little bit. But let's just see. Let's just see what happens. The singular fair value gap is there in 3 minutes, so I'ma mark that out. Yeah, I'm not selling here. I would rather see us rebalance that and then trade higher if that is something what that market likes to do. But I don't like the action here right now. We could even continue dropping. Okay. Equity open and we shoot higher. Let's see if we flip that gap, I could get long here. Guess we don't sweep this high at all, and we still got the overall target higher as an idea. Okay, we flipped that, which means I'm getting in. I don't know why the market always does that shit. 2-minute gap didn't get flipped though. I'm probably getting like wrecked here like multiple times. It's just manipulating like ass. Listen, man, this is not good action. I would go break even. I don't like this. Usually what happens in this kind of situation is he runs my stop, takes out a little bit of this, and then moves with a massive buy candle. I'm closing 50% off there. There we go, break even. Well, at least I was able to monetize a little bit. I'd be willing to take another here with quite a good risk to reward. I'm taking 50% off. Break even. Okay, how about this? We are close at that high, but I'm not sure if we are going to run that. And the reason is that sometimes NAS and all the pairs can kind of get close to the high and the overall draw, and then it kind of just drops and manipulates a little bit more and builds some more liquidity. So usually, like more often than not, it should run that high, but I'm not feeling too confident. I'm like ready to take the 1% profit off there and just actually let's leave like a small runner, and we hit that. So that was a little bit over 1.5% win. And I'm probably going to start using like a higher risk sometime soon, like 2% risk. But yeah, that was a good trade. Equity market open kind of gives so much volume that it kind of manipulates multiple times before often running the overall draw, and it's kind of annoying because I'm maybe taking a little bit too many losses in that kind of scenario, but we are at all-time highs. It's June 2023. So let's see what we do here. This is a singular fair value gap in 5 minutes, which is getting flipped now. I don't like these highs and this fair value gap, so I'm definitely not going to take this. I would rather even go long. Now if this gets flipped, I wouldn't take this because it's super choppy. This could be a trade because we can have quite like small stop loss. We could target it all the way up here, and we got multiple equal highs here that would be a break even, so I'm taking it. I'm taking 50% off there, scaling. Small amount of profits, but the same idea. Now, because it wasn't initially willing to move, I would still feel kind of conviction to take this, but I would not risk 2% anymore. Aggressive profit taking, and even if that ends up losing, basically you still get like a little bit of profits on top of the break even. That's why I like this strategy, and maybe I should start utilizing this. So how about this inverse? I mean, we get a lot like a volume. That's quite good risk to reward, but that inverse is kind of choppy, so I would take this with like a 0.5% risk. We're 50 minutes away from equity. Okay, that was a bad trade. And equity market's open, you can see what happens. You would think that this is some type of news event, but it's not. It's just equity markets open. Like That just tends to give like a little bit of volume to NAS. I don't really know what we're doing now, so let the price do its thing. 5 minutes. So we tap into this 5 minute and we're at all-time highs. You shouldn't necessarily short here. This looks decent. I would target up here. 3% risk is definitely fine in here. Same protocol. If you are willing to run immediately, then this shouldn't take us out break even. Okay, there you go. That was a clean trade. 2% risk we were able to monetize with a little bit over 1.5%, which isn't even one-to-one art technically, but I took first partials at there because there has been multiple instances where I take partials at there and then it runs my break-even stop. So that's why in this strategy, with this strategy, you have to be super like comfortable with taking a lot of break-evens. I don't like this inverse. It's probably going to run because we... Wait a minute. Oh yeah, we passed those all-time highs there. So I don't like the long after we have just taken all-time highs like that. Especially when the inverse is kind of choppy like that, so... Yeah. How about this one? We got the M1 gap. If you respect that and move lower, I could... Yeah, I'm not gonna take this, man. Now we have inversed this last gap. I think we would run down here, but I don't really know that. I'm 1.5% up for the day. I wouldn't really be concerned. Continue to run the all-time highs, which would mean that this is going to get taken. Two-minute gap. That's like a small and not too obvious, so I don't really like it, even though we would be able to catch like one-to-one. Would have lost had I taken that, so that's a good that I didn't take that. Choppy action. Market opens. How about this flip? Well, we reject this gap multiple times, then we'll flip that. That's also a 2-minute flip, but I'm waiting for 1 minute. I don't like that flip. Especially at all-time highs. Like, I just don't like it. And I'm not even sure what the target would be, so... I would rather go long towards the high, but we are just moving higher at the all-time highs. I don't really know how to get involved in this. You know what I'm saying. Maybe if you like flip some 5-minute gap here. But we are clearly not even doing that, so I'm just skipping next day. This is a news event, so let's see if we get like some nice data week. Okay, we don't, which is annoying because data weeks are nice liquidity pools to target. Well, we got that fair value gap here, sweep of buy side here. I'm not sure if we are going to run this, but we could. But again, we're at all-time highs, so I shouldn't expect nothing else but this to get run. So let's just see what kind of price action in 1 minute chart print. This is your 3 minute gap, so let's just mark that out. That's the important one in terms of whether it holds or not. If it doesn't hold, we could be even running those lows, but equity market opens and we get, is this the initial manipulation down? Let's see. Well, we flipped that gap, so I think it could be fair to try getting along here because we are holding that 3 minute gap. Equity market opens with initial manipulation to the downside, so this doesn't look too bad. This would be break even. We took that high. The good trades are the ones where we just run cleanly, whereas here we didn't run cleanly, so that's not a trade you want to be a part of, you know what I'm saying? And this is the reason why you have to take aggressive stop break-evens, because you would be stopped out quite fastly here. But so basically you go break-even as soon as the first internal high gets swept. So that's pretty much the case here. And as I told you, we had a chance of running those lows. We are now doing exactly that. Let's just mark out the most important low here, which is this one. But yeah, we did sweep this one already, so let's see. I want us to run that other low as well. There you go. Now we could have a lot of range to go and drive higher. You could have taken the first inversion here easily. I'm not touching that though. Maybe this is the real sweep. Let's see. Do I like it? Let's see how it. So I think we will, even if we were to run lower, we would take that 50-minute gap high or low or whatever you call it. So meaning that this would be valid for me to take, because we could have a chance to drive all the way up here, and the 50-minute gap is definitely, like, I cannot say definitely, but I should get swept. There you go. So you can see I'll take 50% off here, more break evens. What would be the next position to take? Next place to take some positions off. These highs here, maybe somewhere here. So let's just see where the market is willing to run. It's clearly having some volume higher. I would close another 50% off here and then leave others, the rest of the position to run towards that high. And we get stopped out there. Let's see how much we made there. 1%, around 1 to 1 hour. That was a clean one. So, for example, in this instance, I didn't know whether or not market would have run past that high, but I definitely knew that market was going to run that high. So I take the trade when market runs that high. I go break even, and that's just like a free trade. So that's why I like the break even rule with this strategy, because that allows me to take like these kind of trades and not lose, even though it kind of runs against me, and I'm still able to make like that 1% profit. I'm go to New York session. What are these candles? No news. There has not been news for a while. Soon we will have. Maybe even this week is NFP week. I don't know. So here, the high could be a target for price to move towards, because a lot of sell side was swept. This would be like market maker buy model towards the high, which would mean that this 5 minute is holding right now, which would mean that if we flip here nicely, let's say that 2 minute gap, I do like the reaction off of that, and that's engulfing candle there as well. So I would simply go along from here. Okay. Half of there. So what is market doing here? It takes my TP, so that was a clean over 3%, 3.5% trade or some shit. So that was a nice one, and that's pretty nice one, because everything is kind of lining to my favor here. And technically we could even run up here. You cannot really expect that kind of move off of like 1 minute structure, but it could happen, which would allow us to have a lot of RR there. But yeah, equal lows, I'm not longing against those. I mean, that's like relative equal lows, but again, not longing against those. Equity market open, you can see we end up running there, so I don't really know if I'm able to catch trade again, because like we could take longs like this in all-time highs and like try to target like 1-to-1. Let's just try that out with like 0.5% risk for the sake of it. Yeah, it's not willing to move. Break even. If market doesn't build any like, yeah, it's not really building anything worth taking in terms of the structure. I think we are done here. Pretty good backtesting session.